Hello, connection enthusiasts all over the globe. I'm Rahel Herzeg, the co-founder of Togetherness Hub, and today let's talk connection. It's really crazy that we are already celebrating a little over a month of Togetherness Hub since the official launch. And some of you might have even noticed that we started to be more and more active on social media, and we are sharing content centered around human connection and loneliness. So actually, we are nowadays establishing new traditions and rituals, and we would like to follow you through the week and support you in your daily life. So on Mondays, we will bring you some inspiration to kick off the week. On Tuesdays, we will share research papers and studies with you. And Wednesday, you will have the chance to get to know projects from the community. Then comes Thursday, when you have to be on the lookout because we will share some interesting international and national events around the globe. So what's next? It's Friday, right? So for Fridays, we thought that let's finish the week on a higher note. And we would like to offer you an in-depth yet still crisp interview with somebody from the community. And they will visit us as a guest every week. And yeah, we are really hoping to have you tuning in with us. Without further ado, let me introduce you to today's guest, Pete Bombaci, the founder of the GenWell Project and the Human Connection Movement in Canada. Pete, it's really great to have you in our virtual room. Thank you for accepting the invitation.
Rahel, it's absolutely beautiful to be here. I love everything that you and Giannis have created with the Togetherness Hub, and I'm just happy to be a part of this incredible community.
Happy to have you here. So maybe just to warm up a tiny little bit and also to bring you closer to our viewers, how would you describe yourself in 3 words?
It's interesting, we were chatting about this just before we got on air. I had to write them down because I don't think about it this way very often, but the 3 words I came up with were passionate, empathetic, and a leader. And, I think it really just speaks to the fact that, 5 years ago, I launched this human connection movement before many people even were thinking about how important this was to other people. And I'm looking forward to sharing that journey today.
Amazing. I mean, now you also have the time to expand and elaborate a little bit more on that. And I'm very happy you did not take human connection catalyst, because then I would have said that, yeah, you are cheating. It's on your t-shirt. Amazing t-shirt.
Thank you.
So yeah, then tell us a little bit more about your journey, how it all started, and how are you changing the world?
I love that question, because that is what I think I'm trying to be a part of, is changing the world for positive. The GenWell Project is a human connection movement that I launched back in 2016. And our mission was to make the world a happier and healthier place by educating people about the importance of human connection as a proactive health step that we can all take to make not only ourselves happier and healthier and live longer and all the many benefits that come with human connection, but also help other people by reaching out and connecting with other people. We've become a 12-month awareness campaign, but we also highlight 2 weekends a year, one in the spring and one in the fall, when we want to catalyze people through weekends that are specifically focused on, hey, reach out to a friend, reach out to a neighbor, a family member, to a colleague, and get together and spend some quality time connecting with them. We also encourage people to get connected with strangers, and throughout the course of our day, we want to encourage people just to be more conscious and intentional about making human connection a part of their everyday life.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. When was the first time you felt so close that, yeah, human connection is incredibly important in your life?
That's interesting. I think, I say this, I never understood how important human connection was in my life. I had a family that we got together for all the special occasions throughout the course of the year: Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, birthday celebrations. But I don't think I ever really understood why. I never understood the benefits. And it's probably not a surprise because, as you know, much of the research, John Cacioppo, obviously Julianne Holt-Lundstadt, the people that in the late 90s and in the 2000s started coming out with this research, other than if you want to go back to some theoretical psychologists like Maslow, most of this research wasn't done. So we did it because it was there, because our communities were created and existed on it in the past. But what was the original inspiration behind the GenWell Project was in 2003 in North America, we had a blackout. And during the blackout, what I saw, I went to a friend's house, we had a barbecue, and that night at 9 o'clock, I went out on the front porch and I saw some people on the street hanging out because there was no computer, no phone, no TV, no radio, there was nothing to do. And so I went and talked to the people on the street and I said to them, hey, you guys must all know each other, right? And they all looked at me and said, no, we don't know each other. And I thought to myself, this is really special because of a blackout that brought us all together, we actually were meeting, our next door neighbor. In Canada, 50% of people don't know their next door neighbor's name. And then when I went and did the research and recognized how important human connection was for our health, for our happiness, for our longevity, that's what was the original catalyst behind starting a movement called the GenWell Project here in Canada.
Yeah, it's incredible. And also the number you are bringing, 50% of Canadians, they don't know their close neighbors. It's something astonishing. I mean, I would have never thought, that's possible. So when you created the movement, do you consider it as your biggest achievement and the craziest idea you are part of? Or do you have some smaller projects within the movement, what you would highlight as your craziest idea and something what you're the proudest of?
Yeah, it's so funny. I used to oversee the Movember campaign in Canada, where we got men to grow mustaches to change the face of men's health. And that was pretty crazy. And we raised $142 million over 5 years. So I've had an opportunity to see crazy happen before and what can happen when you can build a movement around it. And I think, I was certainly proud of what we did there. I think the crazy part of the GenWell Project is launching a movement, spending my own money to put up a website, and 5 years later, having not made very much money at all, still be here because I so passionately believe that we need this message to get out across the general population, not only in Canada, but for around the world, as everybody that's part of the Togetherness Hub understands. We need people to understand this message, and we need them to understand it before they get to a crisis, before they go through a divorce or a relationship breakup, before they lose a job, before they lose a loved one, before they get diagnosed with an illness. We need people to understand this, just like they understand physical activity and eating well. We need to make sure that they understand that their social health is really important. So, it was crazy to do it. It's been a very long and challenging journey along the way, but I have to be honest with you, Rahel, the Togetherness Hub may be the conduit to greater success, but more importantly for me is just, I think I've truly found my community. I've found the people who understand what I've been talking about for 5 years. And when I was speaking to Julianne Holt-Lundstadt, who was kind enough to give me some time, I sensed that she has gone through that journey as well, which is, trying to raise the attention and awareness about this issue and having people kind of, not understand or not engage. And I think for all of us that are part of the Togetherness Hub, this may be our opportunity to help make the world a happier and healthier place by getting people to connect face to face when the pandemic is over, or through digital technology for the time being.
Beautifully said, Pete. And here we are in this virtual Zoom room talking to each other. You seem totally experienced with these crazy ideas, and also the compassionate way of running these programs. what do you think? What makes a crazy idea, reality? So what makes it happen? You mentioned already the connections, that you were talking to the right people at the right time. What else do you think, brings this magic? What brings from people saying, "Oh yeah, that's a crazy idea. I don't think this will happen," into, here you are 5 years and going and getting stronger every day?
You know what is, obviously there's been thousands of conversations with schools, with businesses. I've done many presentations to universities and colleges. I've spoken at many businesses. I've spoken in high schools, and I've spoken to leaders of all shapes and sizes across Canada. Excuse me. And all of those conversations lead you to an understanding that those who get it understand the importance of the message that we're sharing. And there's been a lot of people who, I had a meeting with a gentleman by the name of Dr. Quam McKenzie, who's with the Wellesley Institute here in Toronto, and he's a global expert on the social determinants of health. And he said to me in year one, when we were just getting started, he said, "You will be very successful with this movement, but you need to know one thing." And I said, what's the one thing? And he said, "It is going to take time because most people have no idea what you're talking about." And I thought it was and at the time I probably didn't even value the message as much as I should have, but he was 110% right. Prior to the pandemic, most people would hear my message and kind of go, but I already talk to people, I already see people. But I think the pandemic has really awoken us all to how important human connection is. And, I think the stat that I saw is that up to 80% of our daily connections were spontaneous. They weren't organized. It wasn't through meetings. It was running into people on the street, your neighbors at the coffee shop, maybe some people at the water cooler at the office. And right now, in the midst of the pandemic, every connection takes an effort because we have to schedule a Zoom. And I think this is what we didn't recognize before, but now we're waking up to, is all of those casual connections we have, I call them casual collisions, are so important. And it's why we need to get back to some sense of normalcy on the other side of the pandemic, but also recognizing that anytime you pass somebody on the street, you have an opportunity to make a difference in somebody else's life just by a little wave, hi, how are you? All those things make that person feel like they belong, that there's a sense of being part of a bigger community, and it does for us as well. And so, there's a lot of conversations that have helped me get to where we are today. But at the end of the day, what it takes is leadership, and it's finding those people that are willing to stand up, who are willing to be questioned and say, what are you talking about? And yet still continue to move forward. And it hasn't always been easy, but you and I we've only known each other a couple months, and you and I have had some really important conversations for me, because it is about finding those people who understand what we're doing, who understand the purpose and the meaning and understand the mission. And if we can continue to surround ourselves with our community, we will find the support to keep going out there and finding those people who understand and want to make a difference in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Pete, now that you feel that also there is a higher level of connection, and you have been talking to the right people, what is the next big thing for the GenWell Project and the human connection movement? So what are you up to, and can the community help you in any other way?
Well, we've got a lot of stuff going on. We took a pause at the start of the year because, to be honest with you, I needed to take a break. Because as we all know, if we don't put the oxygen mask on ourselves, then we can't be there to help other people. So I took a pause, but we're just about to come back and do a few things. Number one, we're going to relaunch our website and our social media platform. We had been posting every day for 5 years. So we have a ton of content that speaks to the tips, tools, the research, suggestions, infographics on how we can help people think about getting connected. And we want to get back to sharing those daily tips, tools, and ideas with people, because we think that those daily nudges will actually help people take more steps along the way. So launching our website, relaunching our socials, we're doing a national survey in Canada around social connection, because we want to be speaking about facts, and we want to be helping people understand what makes people happier and healthier, both during the pandemic and also how we're going to stay more positive, more happy on the other side of the pandemic. So what we want to do is continue to encourage people around the world to become part of our movement, because we are a global movement. We're a digital platform that is encouraging people to be more conscious about the importance of human connection, to empower them to take action in their own lives. And if they don't have that capability, because maybe they're struggling, maybe they're having some challenges in their life, will then be part of the GenWell weekends when we're able to get back to those on the other side of the pandemic. And maybe we can actually all rally people around the world to say, hey, on this weekend, why don't we all reach out to one person? Because if we could get, a couple million people to reach out to one person on those weekends, just imagine the impact we could have on the world by getting more people connected face to face.
Yeah, beautiful. With one connection, a time, and then you are making everything run better. When I talk to you, Pete, I really feel that maybe you should add one more word when you describe yourself, and it's resilience. It's really resonates with me that how you have pushed it through, because mentioning how you have pushed through with social media, you did the research. It's a wonderful job what you guys are doing. And whenever the survey is live, we also hope that we can help spread the word. And one more curious question about, you seem highly motivated and passionate, but as you said, you need your own oxygen mask first. So what motivates you? And to be more precise on it, who is motivating you? Who inspires you day by day and then influencing your work? Is there a special person or different role models you look up to? How is it for you?
Wow, there's a lot of questions in there, Rahel. So I would start, especially during the pandemic, it's my wife and my son who are really the driving force every day, because we don't get a chance to see the people that we normally see, as I say, in those casual collisions out and about in restaurants and coffee shops and different places. So thank goodness that I'm fortunate enough to have those people in my life. But beyond that, there's so many people that have inspired me along the way. And, Julianne Holt-Lundstad is one of them, Dr. Robert Waldinger, Laurie Santos, Jamil Zaki, all the people out there and I'm getting goosebumps as I talk about it, Rahel, because if it wasn't for these people, their research and their messages, I wouldn't be able to champion the GenWell Project, because I wouldn't understand it. But by spending time and by listening and hearing them speak and watching their videos and reading their books, you start to really understand how important this message is. And it's for people's health and happiness. It's to create a more empathetic and caring society. It's about creating a more resilient society. It's about, making people not just live longer, but having a better quality of life. All of these things become so important when you recognize the research is there and it supports all of it. And it's those people that have done the tireless research that actually, have inspired me along the way. And, people like, you and Giannis, who, have started the Togetherness Hub. You don't have $1 million backer. You're doing it because you see an opportunity to make a difference in the world as well. And maybe if we get all the crazy people together, maybe a bunch of crazy people can actually make the world a happier and healthier place. And I think it's Margaret Mead always said, don't underestimate the power of an individual or something along that line, because if we didn't have crazy people in the world, we wouldn't have had so much of the innovation and progress that we've had. So we need crazy people, and we need people to gather around and rally around those people. And as I say, and I will continue to say it, I'm just so thrilled to be a part of the Togetherness Hub, because I think you're bringing a bunch of crazy people together who actually believe they can change the world.
Thank you so much. Yeah, your words really touched my heart, I have to say. Pete, what I can tell you, we keep gathering crazy people in a good way, and then we really hope that by uniting the efforts and with the joint movement, we can make the world a better place. So I really have the feeling I could talk to you throughout the whole day of Canada and the evening of Germany. Unfortunately, we soon need to wrap up, but I would really encourage all the crazy people out there to reach out to you and continue this discussion, because that's how we move forward. So every day, just a small step, baby steps, one connection at a time, and reach out, exchange ideas, and change the world together. So I would like to thank you again, Pete, for joining us today and taking the time. It was really my pleasure to have you here.
Rahel, it's my pleasure to be here. It's my pleasure to be part of the Togetherness Hub, and people can find out more about the GenWell Project on all of our social platforms, or genwellproject.org is our website, and they can sign up for our newsletter that we'll get back to when we relaunch. But it's just so great to be able to share our message with the broader global community. And so thank you for the opportunity. And I look forward to having many more conversations with you and everybody that's part of the Togetherness Hub.
We are the lucky ones to have you in the community. Thanks a lot, Pete.
Yeah, cheers.
I wish you all a great weekend, guys and girls. Next Friday, we will be back. And let's talk connection. Bye.
Bye, everybody.